The 2025 Video Music Awards were meant to be a night of celebration, but instead, it became a stage for some shocking snubs. Role model Addison Rae, Olivia Dean, and Benson Boone, huge rising stars, were all left off the nominations list. With viral hits, sold-out tours, and millions of streams, fans were furious. Was MTV out of touch, or was something shady going on? Let's dive into why the Video Music Awards may have made a big mistake by ignoring these talented artists. No nominations for the rising star. Tucker Pillsbury, better known by his stage name Role Model, was one of the most glaring omissions from this year's VMA nominations. Here was an artist who had everything going for him: viral TikTok hits, a breakout sophomore album Kansas Anymore, and an ever-growing fan base that couldn't get enough of his raw, relatable lyrics. Yet, when the VMA nominations were announced, Role Model's name was nowhere to be found. 0 nominations. Nada, nothing. It's not as though Role Model's success was just a fleeting moment. The album Kansas Anymore racked up tens of millions of streams, and critics were quick to praise it as his best work yet. He had high-profile collaborations and a fast-selling tour that proved he was not just a flash-in-the-pan artist. His single Sally was practically a TikTok anthem, dominating playlists and making waves across social media. Yet, despite all of this, his name wasn't even mentioned in major categories, including Best New Artist. It felt like a slap in the face, especially for fans who had followed his rise closely. Naturally, the snub didn't go unnoticed. Social media erupted with fans demanding answers. Theories ranged from MTV's refusal to recognize indie artists like Role Model to accusations of behind-the-scenes tension. Was this just an oversight, or was there something deeper at play? Fans believed that MTV either didn't recognize his artistry or, worse, overlooked him entirely, and they weren't having it. This lack of recognition felt not only like an oversight, but a failure to embrace a fresh, unique voice in the music industry. For someone with such momentum, being ignored by one of the biggest award shows in the world was more than just an insult. It was a missed opportunity for MTV to show they were still in tune with the next generation of artists. Addison Rae, TikTok queen turned pop star, left out in the cold. Now, if there was one artist whose exclusion from the 2025 Video Music Awards shocked fans even more than Role Models, it had to be Addison Rae. A TikTok sensation turned bona fide pop star, Addison Rae had taken the music industry by storm in 2025 with her debut album, which received critical acclaim and dominated the charts. Her hit single Diet Pepsi was an absolute smash, garnering hundreds of millions of streams and becoming a staple on every pop playlist. With industry endorsements from heavy hitters like Lady Gaga and Charli XCX, Rae was on the brink of solidifying herself as one of the biggest stars of 2025. Yet, when the VMA nominations were revealed, her name was conspicuously absent. The fans? They weren't having it. Social media blew up with hashtags like #JusticeForAddison, and many took to Twitter to express their outrage over what they saw as blatant industry gatekeeping. Some argued that MTV was still reluctant to give TikTok stars too much credibility, while others suspected that Addison's rise was being blocked by the old guard of the music industry, who weren't ready to embrace this new wave of social media-powered stars. The reality was that Addison Rae was being pushed aside despite her undeniable success, and it left fans wondering just how much influence social media stars would need to truly break into the mainstream. To add to the controversy, there was also a perception that MTV had long been dismissive of TikTok creators and online personalities. While TikTok has shaped the music landscape for years now, it seems that the Video Music Awards are still playing catch-up when it comes to acknowledging the full impact of social media culture on the industry. If there was one artist who should have had a seat at the VMA table, it was Addison Rae, and the snub was one of the night's most talked about scandals. Olivia Dean, the neo-soul queen, gets blacklisted. Olivia Dean's story is one of soaring talent and promise, but when it came time for the 2025 VMAs, she was completely shut out. With her soulful vocals and magnetic stage presence, Olivia had been hailed as one of the most exciting rising stars in the neo-soul movement. Her hit song Nice to Ether had exploded online, and she had even had the honor of opening for Sabrina Carpenter on tour. But despite this growing momentum, the Video Music Awards completely overlooked her when it came to nominations. It wasn't just her fans who were upset. Industry insiders were equally perplexed by her exclusion. Olivia had all the makings of a VMA contender, and many assumed she was a lock for Best New Artist. But instead of celebrating her talent, MTV chose to ignore her completely. The backlash was swift and intense, with fans and critics alike questioning why MTV seemed so resistant to embracing new, exciting sounds. Was it because Olivia's genre was too niche? Or was it simply that the industry wasn't ready to embrace a voice like hers? The snub didn't just affect Olivia, it represented a missed opportunity to showcase the diversity of music that is thriving today. The neo-soul movement, with its raw emotional depth and unique blend of influences, is one of the most exciting things happening in music right now. Yet, MTV's refusal to nominate Olivia Dean felt like an exclusion of an entire genre that deserves recognition. Benson Boone. TikTok success turned VMA snub. Benson Boone's story is almost a textbook example of the modern music industry's ability to turn viral success into a legitimate career. From his early TikTok covers to his breakout single Moonbeam Ice Cream, or Mystical Magical, as his fans lovingly call it, Benson Boone had captured the hearts of listeners all over the world. His music career seemed destined for greatness, and the momentum behind him only seemed to be growing. He'd already sold out arenas and had performances on major late-night shows. It seemed like his next logical step was a VMA nomination. But much to the surprise of his fans, Benson Boone's name was nowhere to be found on the nomination list. This was another huge shock, given his massive success and dedicated following. Fans quickly took to social media to voice their outrage, accusing MTV of being completely out of touch with the musical tastes of today's generation. The decision to ignore Benson felt like a failure to recognize the power of social media-driven careers and the artists who rise through those channels. For many, this was the straw that broke the camel's back in terms of questioning the Video Music Awards' relevance. How could an artist like Benson, who had garnered such a massive following, be completely overlooked in favor of more traditional names? It didn't sit right with fans, and it only added fuel to the fire that was already burning over the other high-profile snubs. Is the VMA system broken? The exclusion of role model Addison Rae, Olivia Dean, and Benson Boone from the 2025 Video Music Awards speaks volumes about the current state of the music industry and the way award shows like the Video Music Awards continue to operate. These snubs highlight a growing divide between the traditional music industry and the emerging wave of artists whose careers are shaped by social media, viral moments, and independent successes. The VMAs, it seems, are still grappling with how to handle this new reality. The question remains, is the system broken, or is the industry just not ready to embrace the next generation of music? While some argue that these snubs are part of the age-old process of gatekeeping in the industry, others suggest that it's simply a case of MTV failing to evolve with the times. Either way, the backlash from fans is clear. The Video Music Awards may have missed the mark in 2025, and it'll be interesting to see if they adjust their approach next year. Thanks for tuning in to today's deep dive into the biggest snubs of the 2025 Video Music Awards. What do you think? Were these artists unfairly left out? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's keep the conversation going. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you never miss out on the latest music news and updates. We've got plenty more content coming your way, so stay tuned. Catch you next time.